It's happened again. Another lost media story that I covered on this channel gets solved really quickly. This time in the comments section of the video itself, with some more information coming out on Reddit and Discord in the following days. Of course, I'm talking about the book where a boy turns into a gasoline pump. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I recommend you watch my video about it first. But if you don't feel like it, here's a summary. Over the course of the last few years, a number of people recall reading a children's book from the early 90s in which a boy who is obsessed with the gasoline pump runs away from home and gradually transforms into the pump himself. At some point in the story, he befriends a lamppost, and eventually his parents go looking for him. They find him, but they don't recognize him because now he's a gas pump. All the info about this book could only be found somewhat recently, leading some people to believe this is all some kind of a troll or maybe just some kind of collective false memory or something like that. But as it turns out, this thing is definitely real, and we found it. So for this video, let's take a look at what we know now about the book where a boy turns into a gas pump. Gasoline boy, turned himself into gasoline boy. Did it cause he's the press gasoline boy. This video was sponsored by Mech Arena. Mech Arena is a tactical, team-based 5 vs 5 shooter with the perfect balance of casual pick-up-and-play fun and skill-based competitive play. There's several different mechs to play as, upgrade, and customize to your heart's content, with tons of different skins to unlock. Right now, I'm using Lancer, who I got the sick skull skin for, and Killshot with the red floral print. I like Killshot because he's fast and I'm impatient, and he's got this cool charge move, although clearly I gotta get better at using it right. Someone else just used it on me before and saved their own ass with like 1% health left. Mech Arena also has awesome in-game events as well as a login rewards program that you definitely don't want to miss out on. It's completely free to play on Android or iOS right now, and you can use my link in the description or scan my QR code to get 1 black carbon skin, 300 A coins, and 50,000 credits to help kickstart your game. And if you're quick, you can add me to friends as Whang and we can play some matches together. So don't wait around, download Mech Arena today. When making the video about the boy who turned into a gas pump, I figured that this would be another case where if we just got it out to a big enough audience, someone would know about it. Sure enough, that is what happened. I had several people reach out to me with answers about this book. The first of which I believe to be a comment left under the video a few hours after it was posted, by a user named GH Kuiper. Hi Justin. The book's title in Dutch is De Geheimzinnige Benzinepomp, the mysterious gas/petrol pump, written by authors Walter Oliviers, Michael Smets, and John Hogsvorst. These names sound Flemish, so that's where the book is probably from. Dutch webshop Bol has a listing, but the book is currently out of stock. I tried to add a link, but then the comment wasn't published. Using Google, you can find the page. The synopsis is pretty much what's mentioned in the video. When Brikke wakes up one morning, he knows exactly what he wants to be. Gas pump. Determined, he runs away from home in search of a busy street. It does take some time, but gradually Brikke changes into a beautiful, shiny gas pump with counters and real cash machine. It does the job so well that it is named the best gas station in the world. Pretty sure this is the one. I tried to find more information, but there doesn't seem to be any. Perhaps someone else can find info on translations. Hope this is the solution. And going by that description, this absolutely has to be the solution. Like, there's just no way something hits on all of these same story points and isn't the same book. And shortly after, ChopTop, who is the person who initially emailed me about this book, sent me a picture of the book on a desk among other children's books. And on the cover, there's an abacus, which, if you recall, was another detail from the book. He swallows the abacus before turning into the gas pump. So, like, there's just no way this is not it. But there's very little information that could be sussed out of the Bol listing. No pictures, not for sale, although you could see that Walter Oliviers had written several other children's books as well. GH would then speak to a representative of the publishing company. The representative believed that this was a book that was translated into Dutch from another language. And also, it turns out that this book was published in 1996. It was already known that this book was published in several different languages, so if the representative were to be correct in that regard, it wouldn't be much of a surprise. However, 1996 is a bit later than the time frame we were looking for, so I began to try some searches on my own with that title. At the time, I was getting a lot of French results, which led me to believe that maybe Walter Oliviers was a French author, although eventually I would actually notice that he had some writing credits for Dutch TV as well. In any case, I tried popping the geheimzinnige Benzinpump into Google Translate, and I tried searching the French equivalent as well as some other languages. Nothing really useful turned up though. Everything would start to make a little bit more sense though when it was found that this book had actually originally been published in 1986 with a different title, Super Brikke. And it was in fact Dutch in origin. And then soon after, the English translation of Super Brikke would be found, Super Giles. There was exactly one copy of Super Giles that could be found on Amazon. It was from an Italian seller who would only ship within Italy. This copy would wind up being purchased by a commenter on my video, Flintbox. And then, Flintbox receives some bad news. You see, the book was missing 2 pages. But that's not that big of a deal, right? I mean, 2 pages is 2 pages, at least we can see the rest of the book. Well, not so fast. You see, because the book was missing 2 pages, the seller had sent the book to get pulped, and there was no way to get this book back. So because of this, Flintbox's order was cancelled. And as far as I could tell now, the only known surviving copy of the English version of this book, Super Giles, now exists in a library in Malaysia. And like Giles, the Dutch version Super Brikke seems to only exist in libraries. A Dutch user of the Whang Out Discord, Noor, wound up getting in touch with one of these libraries, the Koninklijke Bibliotheek. Noor exchanged some emails and phone calls with them, and eventually they came to an agreement. And the library also gave a further description of the book's contents. They confirmed a lot of the details of the story, like his friendship with the lamppost, him transforming into the gas pump, and how his parents meet but don't recognize him. Unfortunately, they also said there is only one copy that exists in a Dutch library, and it's the one that they have. Because it was so rare, it was only available in the special collections department, and they were not allowed to scan the entire book. They only scanned the front and back cover and pages 1 to 18. And shortly after, Noor would receive these scans. Now, because the library wasn't able to scan the entire book, we don't see the full transformation, but at the very least we do see the boy talking to the smiley-faced lamppost, which was another important detail that came up in the original video. So yeah, if there was any doubt left at all, this was definitely the right book. What's kind of interesting to me though, as I had mentioned in the original video, the more I read about people's descriptions of it, the more familiar it seemed to me, and I said that I had pictured a very specific art style. Looking at this artwork though, it is completely different from what I was imagining. Like, the colors in this art style are more flat, and I pictured something with a lot more shading. Like, it was striking to me how much shading there was. So I think that what I was picturing was something entirely different. And in fact, someone else on my subreddit had posted another example of a book of an anthropomorphic gas pump, although this too wasn't really what I was picturing. In any case, I am curious about how the rest of this book looked. There were a few copies in different languages that would pop up on Amazon over the past few weeks, but every single one of those quickly became unavailable. It's not clear to me whether people managed to actually purchase these books, or if it was a similar case to the Italian seller, where they thought they had it but then they didn't actually have it. It does seem to have happened on a few occasions. But at the very least, we now know that this was a real book and not just some mass hallucination that manifested into existence for years. And that's pretty much the story of Super Brikke. Now, to wrap things up, a lot of you have been sending me more and more stories about lost media cases, so I'm planning to make a series where I take a bunch of these stories and just put them together in a video. And to keep things organized, I've set up a separate email just for lost media cases, whanglostmedia@gmail.com. Right now I have a lot of different files sitting in a lot of different places, so having that specific email address for this is going to help me keep things a lot more organized. So you can look for the first episode of that pretty soon. But anyway, that's all for now. If you like this video, check out my video about the Lost Hellraiser game. I'm out.